the 9205E high-speed RC car. Of course, we've got the oil-filled shocks, metal differential gear. I'm going to check this a little bit later after the run to see if they have greased these. It's supposed to be a 540 motor, and there's supposed to be this plate in the back. Look at the side, and the back looks to be the front, and the side underneath. Let's see what we've got. All right, you'll notice that I've got this garbage bag here on the back of the trunk. Right now it's about 33 degrees outside and rainy. And this is what we're looking at, so we'll get it out of there. After pulling that out of the box, this is what we're greeted with for you, 1800 milliamp. And of course it has the Dean's connector on there. Ooh, that doesn't look good. You can see that flex on the wheel there, and it's not round. So, and it feels like if there is foam in there, I cannot feel it. Like, it feels like junk. Now this wheel feels different, so I don't know what's going on here. This wheel feels fine, but in comparison, like, this feels like there's foam in it, like a good amount, maybe a little on this wheel. This wheel feels comparable to this one, but this feels completely empty, and you can see that. You can see that indentation. That's horrible. Let's take off these clips, see what we're looking at. So yeah, we've got a pretty big motor in here. Got that ESC, looks like 45 amps. Got a battery already in there. So I'll have to put this on charge. It doesn't, I mean, I felt worse. Pre-wired LEDs. I do like that that's all metal, and they appear to be very pretty substantial, pretty thick. The drive shaft is angular in there. It looks really nice. Of course, that metal skid plate. The arms, of course, are plastic. Let's see what this card said with it. All right, please read. Okay. Cautions of battery. Got the product manual. What else we have in here? We've got the spoiler. Ah, cool. We've got the metal wrench, some extra clips, a wheel nut. That's pretty cool. One charger and a screwdriver. It's pretty cool to get all of the little extras in there. And of course the remote. Steering trim. So just some basic stuff. The wheel, it'll require 3 AA batteries. I had seen some other people that did some unboxing videos say that, you know, theirs came with a card that said you could get like a $30 or $40 gift card through Amazon by writing a review. Unfortunately, mine did not come with that. That does suck, but I still wanted the car. So if you order this car, you potentially will not receive any sort of additional discount. All right, I'm going to get these batteries on charge. Once they're charged up, I'll go ahead and do a speed run. Got the GPS meter on. Its very first run will be a speed test. I do have to say, with this controller, it's made out of cheap plastic, but it is very ergonomic. It's very lightweight, and that foam rubber wheel doesn't have a lot of travel. The speed switch, speed throttle is all the way up on the controller. Maiden voyage right out of the box. Let's see what we've got. Still veering. All right, let's see what we've got. All right, so the max 16.2 miles an hour right out of the box. So it's gotten pretty slow just now. Who knows? Maybe it's this big stick here. Maybe the battery's going. I'm still mad about this wheel. God, look at that. Sucks. These tiny little clips that come with this. Normally under most conditions it wouldn't be a big deal. Again, it's just above freezing right now. Yeah, it's a nuisance. Fortunately, I charged up a second battery. I went ahead and added the spoiler because some of you all would want to see the spoiler on there. All right, we're going to check the range. So, really good range so far. Alright. It's not really digging through the grass how I would hope a car like this with a 540 motor. Let's see how it handles this hill, this gravel. It goes through grass fine, it goes through terrain, it does some jump. It seems to be relatively well built. Couple problems, of course, that I'm not really a big fan of. All right, as you can see, it took a beating, got mud all over it. There's a little rock in there, but it held up, did good. So we're gonna tear this thing open a little bit and take a deeper look into this guy. All right, so you have the 12 millimeter hex nuts. You can replace those with metal for better performance. You can see the pin on the other side. Here you have an extra port for some LEDs. You've got the plastic shocks. I opened them up and there is no oil. So that's the second shot, no oil. The third shock, no oil, and all actually had a different gasket, that white one. And on the fourth one, there's some oil there, but I would have never put anything that thick in there. Opening up to the motor, you can see a metal pinion, and you can see a plastic spur gear. All right, the outside of the diff is lightly greased, very little at all. And this is the rear diff, and you can notice that there's nothing in there. A diff that dry will wear out very soon. The front diff is not greased at all on the outside, and it's not greased on the inside. Of course, we've got some wheel bearings there. So in review, the positives. Looks kind of cool. You get two batteries, 1800 milliamp. You get a metal wrench, extra clips, extra little nuts and stuff. You know, you've got a 540 motor, but it's really no faster than some of the 380s that I've tested in some of the other trucks. You've got oil-filled shocks, but, you know, they're not oil-filled. They're plastic. They'll do the job. You know, it's very inconsistent manufacturing. I like the catch shafts and the drive shafts. They were all metal. Spur gear is plastic. Obviously a negative. You know, pinion gear is metal. So mostly metal gears throughout. So that's good, but very little greasing. That's the difference between keeping a car going for weeks to months instead of years. If you buy this car, if you get this car as a gift, great. It's not a bad little car. You know, again, it's not bad, but you're going to have to do some work on it. Just kind of be prepared to do that, or else, you know, it's not going to last very long for you. The wheel manufacturing, it was very inconsistent. You know, it's nice to see a metal skid plate on these things. It's nice to see metal drive shafts. It's nice to see some of the components that they're putting in, these Chinese companies are putting into these trucks, but there's still a long way to go. They're still cheap Chinese trucks. If you were limited on funds and you just wanted the best car that you could get for the money, for around $100 or less, that will bash and is still fast and all of that, this is not it. This isn't bad, but this isn't it. Get a Besgar 6. It's a 1/16 scale, so somewhat smaller, but it will do everything that this truck does and more. You'll be so much more pleasantly surprised with the Besgar 6. Now, there's some other trucks that I'm going to be trying that may outdo that Besgar 6, but as of right now, for the money, that's the best truck that I can actually recommend. There are too many inconsistencies to make this something that I would make, that I would call this my #1 choice. So that's it. That's all I want to say. Hope you enjoyed.